Monte and the Pharaoh. Monte and the Pharaoh.
To the Monte and Pharaoh Show.
And you're watching the Monte and Pharaoh Show.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
With Monte and the Pharaoh.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
It's Monte and the Pharaoh.
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 Monte and Pharaoh.
It's Monte and the Pharaoh.
And Monte and the Pharaoh. Oh, is it Monte and the Pharaoh?
Monte and Pharaoh.
The Monte and the Pharaoh Show.
Monte and the Pharaoh.
You've got the future Hall of Famer, that rocker, Marty Jannetty, MJ in the house, and I'm sitting here with two more future Hall of Famers, Monte and the Pharaoh. We're doing that stuff and we gonna rock it.
Not just dreaming it, we're doing it for it. Straight to the top. Working hard every day just to leave out that tower.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monte and the Pharaoh, only seen here live from Village Connection Radio, 8:05 to 9 p.m. every Thursday, live from Rockstar Studios. At the helm is the super producer, Mr. Stephen Miller. Stephen, how are you?
I am great, Mike. How are you guys?
And something I want to congratulate that your book, My Life as a Rascal.
Yes.
No, good lovin'. There you go.
Wait, hold on.
Is in the top 10. So congratulations on that.
Whoa. Of the year? No, of the
year.
Yes.
You don't think we're paying attention, right?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It's not my story, but I wrote it. So that's good.
And the theme song of Monte and the Pharaoh is none other than Aqua Cherry. You could catch their music anywhere from Apple Music to Spotify, wherever music is sold. I would tell you reggae rock is it. And then the star of the show, Mr. Jimmy Pharaoh. Jimmy, how are you, buddy?
Hello out there in TV land, back again.
But not to trump you, sir, is two very important guests of ours. I would like to introduce Mr. Big, who's been in studio a few times, and none of our honor, Andrew Anderson. Thank you for taking the time.
Listen, thank you for having me, man. It was a pleasure meeting you guys at the big event. We had a good time, right?
Yeah, we did have a good time.
Yeah. And Mr. Big helped me get into your area because other than that, I would have been standing out.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah, we all would have been.
Pushing the hot dogs!
You couldn't move in there with sardine cans.
Would have been horrible!
Yeah, the big dude.
The
bodyguard.
But he was small, but he was jacked
Yeah, it was small.
He was stopping this guy.
Yeah.
Going in there.
I said my table's right there, part of the show. He's like, yeah, we should bring some. What the heck, Mike?
Jimmy, you're a celebrity.
What
What the hell?
Look at that.
I feel like
You're a celebrity!
I didn't feel like one.
Was that too loud?
Hey, listen.
No,
Steve, I just got to tell you before, Steve, when he was putting the mic in,
Yeah.
he slipped and put his thumb up Big's ass.
What?
No, that wasn't really
I
nice.
didn't. Is that why you're smiling?
You were
What
looking for
the
direction. I figured you were looking for directions.
Holy
you know?
crap.
All I heard was this. All I heard, and I was like, what the fuck?
Nice.
Very demented. He's in a good mood today.
Yeah. Do I attempt to do a bio? Considering we don't have the bio, I could do it from memory. I could
Let's
try.
do it.
All right, I'm going to try. Ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished guest today, I do believe was born October 22nd, 1967.
You got it.
Look at this
Wow.
guy.
Okay, he is also a four-time.
Yo, wait a minute, hold on.
What?
This motherfucker, man.
What?
Oh, let me try to do this from memory.
think I might
It's
remember.
not here.
Go ahead.
Our distinguished guest was
he's-
born on October 22nd, 1967 at Mercy Hospital.
Go ahead.
Well, no, but the hospital I was born in said Mercy.
Oh, man. All right, well, Where was I? Besides being born 5 days after the Pharaoh.
All
in
right.
the same
Look at that.
year, by
Good
the
month.
way.
There you go.
Good
Under
month.
the same sign, I do believe, by
Good
the way.
month, Libra.
He's all, we're balanced.
No, actually, we're more like imbalanced. Is right.
Also a 4-time, if I'm not mistaken, ECPW champion of Z-World.
Yep.
Trained by several legends. If I'm not mistaken, there was a man named Nikolai Volkov, I do believe.
Yes. Nice.
And also trained by, what brother? The Superfly,
Well,
Jimmy Snuka. Also, on top of all of this, folks, he has been featured in several TV/movie scenarios. We're talking about The Wrestler, starring Mickey Rourke. He was in that.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, being a former comic book guru myself, he was involved in a show called Gotham.
Yes, sir.
If I am not wrong. Ladies and
One of
gentlemen,
my favorite shows.
may
One of my
I
favorite
introduce
shows.
to you, along with the manager of champions, et cetera, the great Mr. Begg, the reinforcer, Andrew Anderson.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man,
That was good.
Thank you.
Wow.
That was good. I gotta admit, on memory, that was good. Because
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm a little,
I forget some of that shit too.
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
it's actually on me, Mike, because I didn't send it to you on text today.
Well, Mike, the one thing I never forget is Jimmy Snuka.
There you go.
One thing I never forget. You know, Jimmy was like, I have 3 fathers. Every interview I do, I always specify this.
Okay.
I have 3 fathers in pro wrestling. Jimmy Snuka, I call him Pops. All right? He trained me. Kevin Sullivan, I call him Papa because he's diminutive like Papa Smurf. And then and then you have Greg the Hammer Valentine, who I call Pop. Because Pop, he basically, you know, took me under his wing, and after working with Nikolai for a number of years, he showed me a whole different style. You know, I mean, Nikolai, you know, God rest his soul, I love him, but he was a cement mixer in the ring, man. You know, he hit you for real, like a really roadblock. I remember the first time I was in the ring with him, and I wrestled against him, and it was like my 4th or 5th match, and all he said, his exact words, he reminded me like a cross between Bela Lugosi and a Bullwinkle villain, you know? He was like, Drew, let me tell you something. He goes, when I go like this in the ring, that means open up, I'm going to kick you. So I'm in the ring with him. I got him. I'm selling. He's bopping me. I'm in the corner. And then I'm off the ropes. Then I'm in the corner. Then I'm off the ropes. Then I'm hanging off the ropes. And he goes, so I go like this. And he goes like this. I'm going like this. He goes like this. I'm like this. And I go, what the fuck you doing? He goes, I have a cold. And I was like, what the fuck? He ribbed me. That was the first time I got ribbed in ring.
Really?
And I'm sitting there like fucking, I looked like I was freaking, like, Nikolai, give me some more, baby. You know, fucking, but it was cool. It was really cool. I mean, so then to be tagging with him when I was a Siberian Tiger. I started out as a Siberian Tiger for a number of years. And being tagged with Nikolai, all of a sudden you took, as Greg says, Buffalo Head's role, which was Boris Zukov. He called him Buffalo Head for years. So Greg said I took over Buffalo Head's role, and Boris is a great guy. I love Boris Zukov, one of the nicest guys you'll ever freaking meet. And anyway, to be teaming with Nikolai and doing that, and then 6-mans with Ivan Koloff, you know, and I still have the Ivan Koloff's original Russian chain straps that are deteriorated a little bit, the buckles and stuff like that. And you know, I have that, and you know, to be in the ring with Nikolai was kind of surreal because growing up as a kid, you know, you don't really. I like the baby faces. I loved Snuka, but I loved the heels. But Nikolai was a heel that I hated. You know, as a kid, you know, it's like you wanted to kill him. You know, I mean, because he was Russian. Everybody hated the Russians until Nikita came
And
along.
he came in later on with the Iron Sheik.
And then with the Iron Sheik. But you had to love the Iron Sheik. You loved the Iron Sheik.
But
you
not
know?
in the beginning. In the beginning, he threw so much freaking heat.
But Sheik was just so funny the way he had that big bloated
Now
hernia
it's
and rubbed his
nostalgia.
abs. Now it's nostalgia. But Sheik is also. I had a reunion with Sheik at Winston-Salem at WrestleCade. Me and Kevin Sullivan got to sit with Sheik for a little bit, and funny little tidbit. I got off track here a little bit, but Sheik looks over at Kevin Sullivan and goes, "Oh, Baba." He looks at me and goes, "Oh, Siberian Husky." He never called me Siberian Tiger. I do 6-mans with him too, and he'd always call me Siberian. Oh, Siberian Husky. And he looks over. He looks over at the camera and he's taking pictures of us. He goes, "No jabronis." Like that. That was right there. To me, that's just great, you know. But I had a great relationship with Sheik.
Since you're on the subject of the early days of your career and being trained by Volkov, describe the difference to me, because immediately I think to myself, okay, he was trained by Volkov, he's also trained by Snuka. Now, these two guys couldn't be more different.
Polar opposites.
What was that like for you? I mean, you clearly gravitate more to the physical Volkov approach, I'm assuming. But what did Snuka bring to the table that you were able to apply to your own deal?
I know everybody right now, wrestling generates right now towards is in a flippity flop type of mode.
Of course.
And it's not my style of wrestling.
Of course.
Sometimes I feel like the business has outgrown me.
Not necessarily. There's plenty of power guys still in this business.
And then I see, when I learned to wrestle with Jimmy, strong style was non-existent. Okay, in Jimmy's eyes, there was no such thing as strong style. Nikolai Volkov would be considered wrestling strong style for that era, but he didn't mean to. Do you understand what I'm saying? He did not mean to.
Right.
Nikolai would hit you because he just never really pulled his punches, and he was a boxer in Croatia, and he never really learned or never really cared about learning how to. He wanted to keep it as physical as possible.
Sure.
Snuka, on the other hand, when you locked up with Jimmy, you didn't even know he was touching you. His double chop, which I took a double chop from him, and I took a double chop from Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat's hurt like fucking hell. Jimmy's make the big pop.
Snuka's always looked so fluid too.
They were.
The fact that they came through like butter.
Like butter,
and
you'd hear but there'd be no pain.
Really?
Steamboat would give you the double chop, and you'd hear the pain. You're bumping real. Wow. He was great. I mean, Steamboat was great, and Jimmy were great. But like I said, their styles were extremely similar. But and Jimmy, don't get me wrong. When I say Jimmy was the toughest guy, one of the toughest guys on the planet, I put him right there behind Barb and Haku and Barb. I mean, as far as that goes, and Fit Finley and CBAPI.
Somebody worked very soft.
Very soft, but if you got...
I worked with him.
If you got the Superfly Mad, God help you. I've been at bars many times where at the end of the night, closing time, you couldn't get Jimmy out that bar. And if you'd say to him, he'd be done drinking 2-3 bottles of Malibu with Budweiser, because he loved Bud. And you'd be like, Jimmy, come on, Pop, it's time to go home. Come on, Pops. And he'd hold on to the bar and he'd look at you. And the eye would go up. And they'd give you that look and go, brother, do you know who I am? And I look at him and go, of course I know who you are. No. Do you know who you're talking to? And I'd be like, I got that down, don't I?
Yeah, you got it. I was about to say.
He goes, you know who you're talking to? I go, so Superfly, brother, you know how it is. And I'll be like, fuck.
It's an all-nighter.
And then one time I'm driving with Jimmy, and we wrestled in New Bedford, Massachusetts, 1997, I want to say, 97. I'm driving, I had a Pontiac Trans Am, Smokey and the Bandit, the whole thing, 454, thing spinning, the hood scoop.
That little bird on
the bird, and the hood scoop could never, Jimmy would get driven crazy. Because the hood scoop, the engine would vibrate and the hood scoop would shift. And he'd make me pull over on the fucking highway and center it, And then it would be, So in the meantime, I'm driving. And I'm used to it by now, but there was always there was a sheet in the back of my car. Because Jimmy would throw the Bud cans in the back, and I'd throw a sheet over it to cover it up in case it got pulled over. So we're driving, and Jimmy looks up in the middle of a trip. We're half in the bag. We're driving through, and I don't condone drunk driving. Whoever's watching this, but Jimmy looks over me and goes, "He's got the sunglasses on, middle of the night, 3:00 in the morning." Looks over me and goes, "Brother, I want to ask you a question." He takes the glasses off. It's like fucking dealing with the Terminator at this point, with a little bit of freaking. Now it's like the Terminator with a little bit of what's the guy from Silence of the Lambs? Hannibal Lecter. He turns around and he looks and goes, "Brother, do you think I killed that girl?"
Oh shit.
And I was like this, and I looked over and I was like, he's gonna eat me. That was the first thing I could think of. It was like that.
Though. What did you?
He said that to me. He asked
what
me.
Did you say? What did you say?
I found
Dude, I was not expecting
this
to come
out. And I found out he asked a lot of people the same question.
Okay.
He would come get hammered and ask him, and I'd say, no, Pops, never. And he said, I didn't. And that's what he said to me.
See,
He always said to me,
Why
I
didn't
didn't.
ask him the questions and say
He said I didn't.
So you asked him that same, you're straight out.
I never asked him. I would never. I would
Right,
never.
that's
I would
saying.
never.
He splashed him.
But I'm just
You
telling
know
you, he
what I'm
splashed me
saying?
Did you get
numerous
splashed
times.
by him?
But
Yeah.
but he said to me, I didn't. And I swear by God,
Wow.
you know, no matter whose version, whatever, I heard it from his mouth. And he was drunk, and drunk is like a truth serum. He said he didn't.
Right.
And clearly it's bothering him, right?
And he never said anything about it at all.
I
ever to
think.
me.
How could it not
Jimmy,
bother-
I think
how could it not bother him?
Jimmy's. He was so well loved, and to think that sometimes I think and he was such a nice person and a good human being. You know, I think the fact that, you know, I mean, Jimmy was the hippie. You know, he was a brother. You know, and everything, and always, you know, I mean, he wrestled a friend of mine, the Metal Maniac, who was also there when I got discovered.
Funny you're talking
It was
about
Jimmy and the Maniac who actually were in the bar. Maniac brought Jimmy in the bar when they met me.
Brother, daddy.
Can you tell? Can you quickly tell that story?
What?
I want to know. Look, you're a big guy, right?
Yeah.
Huge guy. So first, I want to know a little bit about your parents, right? What was mom and dad like, and was dad your size? And then I want to know how you were discovered.
They weren't big people. They weren't big people. My mother was heavyset, but my dad wasn't. My biological father was not a big person, so to speak. You know. He worked for Atlantic Records.
Nice.
You know, so a lot of people don't know the real thing. You know, everybody thinks Greg is legit my dad, you know?
Right.
Because we look so much alike and we worked together so many years, and he'd always call me son.
People
And
say he looks like your aunt.
yeah, well, so
Yeah, I said it, Greg. I said it. What? So what?
sick people.
Damn.
But yeah,
Big.
you know, and I got discovered. I was an investment banker. I worked for Hibbert Brown.
Wow.
And I would bounce on the weekends, you know, and I would bounce because it was just it was something to do. It was cool. I loved heavy metal. I loved rock and roll. And
Nice.
I'd get to hang out, and you know, you meet girls and everything. Oh, it was a great time. In comes walking. I see Jimmy Snooker walks in the fucking bar.
And you know who Jimmy Snook is?
Oh my God!
Okay.
Yeah, and right behind him was the gimmick, the Metal Maniac.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see the mullet walking past like that. So of course I go to buy Jimmy drinks, and Jeff Miller's like, no, brother, you can't do brother, daddy, brother.
There it is. There it is.
Anyway, so I got to talk with the two of them and everything, and anyway, it brought me up to East Coast Pro Wrestling, the two of them, and I learned how to wrestle from Gino Caruso and Kodiak Bear, and Jimmy was in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Jimmy was a lot of hands-on. Gino Caruso was a lot of hands-on. Had my
back in the day,
first
he
match ever was against Gino Caruso.
Gino used to be hands-on in the day, teaching. Now he talks because he's got other things to do.
Well, his body's been broken down.
Yeah,
for
what I'm
years.
saying, but
like
he's
all of
got
us,
other
you know,
people
he's been
helping
wrestling for 30 years,
to
you know.
teach people.
So and now he's got trainers there to teach
Right,
people. So
that's
which one
right.
happens, you know?
Nice little school.
And Kodiak Bear, former Portland, Oregon, and WWE star Mike Masters,
Okay.
now known as Rocky Jones. He did a lot of work with me in the ring. The executioners that replaced Kowalski and Stud in WWE were Terry Manton and Jerry Fazio. They wrestled as the executioners. They were on the indie circuit now for a while. And Terry Manton died I think he died in 2000 of a massive brain embolism behind the wheel of a car. He had left behind a kid and a wife, but he was a great guy too. He was an Olympic strongman, a powerlifter, an Olympic powerlifter. He was a great guy. Jerry Fazio, the executioner's school teacher. Rocky Jones, just I can't say enough about Rocky and Faz. You know, they just did a lot for me, and you know, and so I had a lot of guys, and then you have Chris Ford Crowbar, who basically was just amazing. And I broke in working a lot with him when he was doing the Dangerous Devon Storm gimmick, and you know, so and then later on we had great matches as Crowbar versus Andrew Anderson over the years, and you know, it's just been a good time. I want to give kudos to him, by the way, making his appearance tomorrow night in Ring of Honor, his return. So God, you know,
there we go.
Good, God bless you and everything.
And he could have done it any time he wanted.
Yeah, and anyway, so that's how I got trained. I broke in the business, and then you know, they stuck me with Nikolai. They put me, and then I wanted to team with Nikolai because the Russian gimmick just fit. But then, you know, I remember doing a match in Jersey All Pro Wrestling, and I remember Nova, Mikey Nova pulls me aside and says to me, and his brother Donnie B, and they pulled me aside and they said to me, you know, the Cold War is dead. You know, you look so much like Arn Anderson. You know what I'm saying? And Ole and everything, and you know, and why don't you do the Anderson gimmick? Why don't you become an Anderson? I was like, well, I don't want to be an Anderson. Well, you're going to be an Anderson.
I don't want to be an Anderson.
And they stuck me in. So
Ole.
I spoke to Ole, and Ole was like, Doctor, lawyer, engine chief, do whatever the fuck you want. That's what he
Really
said to me.
now?
So Ole was like, do whatever the fuck you want.
That's cool.
So I went to Hawaii on a tour, and I met Lars Anderson, and I said, Lars, I'm using the Anderson gimmick, and he said, not here, you're not. You're wrestling a Siberian Tiger. I never got Lars's approval, so that was kind of bothersome. You know, he was kind of prickish to me, but
had Ole's.
But wait a minute, so you're an investment banker, now you're training. At what point do you go, you know what, I'm done, and I'm going to become a professional wrestler
when
full
I saw
time?
people using other brokers' rep numbers and, you know, making sales, draining people's pension funds, lying to people, you think the wrestling business can be sleazy. That is the drizzling shit. You have to go home knowing that you bullshitted some old lady into giving her, you know, her funds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they don't do it a lot back then. It was around the time of all the scandals and everything like that, and they didn't do what's best. It was right around the time of the whole insider trading. As a matter of fact, when I broke in, they would call me, okay, Bud Fox, you know.
Really?
Yeah, they would call me Bud Fox, you know, because I wasn't even licensed, and I'm using another broker's rep number to make the sales, and then give me a percentage of his commission. There was a lot of underhanded and under the table shit going on there, and I was like, you know what, I wanted to wrestle. I knew I wanted to be three things: a superhero, a rock star, or a wrestler. I had a pretty good singing voice, but the music business just didn't pan out. I like wrestling. I love wrestling.
And he can't fly, and he looks terrible with a cape.
Yeah, I can't. I look.
Tight right there.
Yeah,
long tights. Whatever color combination he tried, didn't look nice. Looked like a ballerina.
So
what's left?
What if he gave? Wait a minute. What if he gave him a hammer and just?
Let me ask you a question, Jimmy.
Come on.
Could have been Thor, right?
Oh, yeah. What's
Look
that?
at this fucking meat.
Jeez.
What else do you do with a fucking arm like this?
I'm 50-2. What can you do with me now? Put me out behind a bar and shoot me. What the fuck? You know, I mean, I take a fucking bump now. I take a bump now. I'm like, Jesus Christ, did I actually do that? Yeah, I did.
Give me a lot of credit, man. How you doing?
I still fucking
like maybe a part on The Walking Dead or
You got to
something.
look at
You know?
something.
Come on now.
Yeah, I'll be that horse that they took an hour to eat, right? I'll be the horse that the zombies took an hour to eat.
What about the horse from Animal House where you just saw the legs sticking
Oh, that was
out?
great. That was awesome. That was awesome. So,
They take the chainsaw out.
I trained with those guys. I worked with Jimmy a shitload of times. You know, I mean,
Yeah. Hey, I got to ask you though, if I can. You know, you're born the same year as me and Mr. Monte over here. When did you get into wrestling? Like, and who was your favorite growing up? Like, you started watching at Channel 9 midnight on Saturdays or something? Or,
Actually, I started. I remember. I'm going to tell you, and I told this to Superstar Billy Graham, and Greg knows has heard this 1,000 times. I was a Catholic schoolboy. I went to St. John the Baptist Grammar School in Fairview, New Jersey.
Okay.
And I'm walking home. Back then you used to be able to walk home.
Right.
5 or 6 blocks, everything's safe. They used to wrap the recycling in twine. And there, lo and behold, is this bloody fucking mess with blonde hair. And it's Superstar Billy Graham with Dusty Rhodes or Bruno or somebody beating on him. And I was like, wow. And I was totally fixated on this, you know. Now, I love Famous Monsters of Filmland, and I was a monster kid growing up. You know, I'd rather fucking sit home and watch the freaking Channel 5 or WWOR Channel 9 and see what Midnight Monster movie's going on.
Yeah, Monster Week on Channel 7.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
How about
Monster Week,
the
a
4:30 movie?
Come on,
Right here. I got to buy you a drink.
I knew we were
Channel 7,
he
right?
was already like in high school getting laid and stuff. He's like, what are you idiots talking about?
Listen to me. When I was growing up, I watched.
You had Zeppelin, leave me alone.
Chiller Theater.
Yes.
Chiller Theater.
The hand. The six-fingered hand.
And they fixed the opening. They did something and changed it.
Did
and
they?
They fixed it back again. They better.
Yeah, they did something with it.
But I got to tell you something. That was the scariest.
That was great.
We'll say 40 seconds total because you had 20 in the beginning of the show. And
Bro,
scariest 40
I don't want to
seconds
interrupt you,
on
but
TV.
they would say to me, what's your most cherished picture that you have? I have a picture of me with Forrest J. Ackerman.
Oh, wow.
And I met him a few
Famous
times when I was
Monsters.
a kid. I met him a few times when I was a kid. I met him at the Fangoria Weekend of Horrors, but I never went
40.
over. Yeah, I never went over and asked him for a picture. Finally, when I was a wrestler, when I started wrestling, I went over there and he wanted to take a picture with me.
There you go.
And that was pretty fucking cool.
That's
He's got
awesome.
the old Bela Lugosi ring in his hand. I'm holding his hand out. That is one of my most cherished. He died a few years later.
You know what you got to go through to get that mag now?
Yeah.
You got a special order.
All right, so real quick, Chilla Theater, the two scariest shows.
Your other ones?
What? He's got
The two scariest things on Chilla Theater. The episode with that voodoo doll that comes to life. It's a chain falls
That's
off.
Trilogy
A
of
Trilogy of
Terror.
Terror.
I don't even know that.
Karen Black.
That shit was scary.
What are you, my clone? Libras.
And then the guy, and
She's scary
then
in
the
real life.
binoculars that went around, and every time someone looked through the binoculars, it blew they poked their eyes out. You remember
was
that one?
that?
I don't know.
I don't
I
remember
remember
that.
those two that
sounds
marked
great.
me for life
What?
watching that shit.
One movies that I remember seeing on Chilla Theater was after Night of the Living Dead, but before, like the Dawn of the Dead was.
All right.
Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
Oh, that's amazing.
That movie scared the fucking shit. To
you
this
ever
day,
seen- Dude!
scared the.
You know what's amazing about that film? It's got this slow burn.
Yes.
And you're like, wow, this is really toast. What am I watching here? And all of a sudden at the end, it's got this shock ending that makes you contemplate life for like weeks. It's like, what?
Orville.
How unsettling was the end of that movie? We're not going to give it
creepy
away,
as
folks. We
fucking hell.
probably don't even
It was
remember
a
we were
warped
big
movie
at the time.
Yeah, but that was one of the sickest movies.
Really?
That was
This movie for me
insane.
was
Oh, you love it.
Dawn
Late
of the
night-
Dead. Because the
Yeah.
truth is,
Oh, yeah.
after I watched that movie, and I realized I travel often
Yeah.
to King's Plaza. And you think about it.
Was it filmed there? Was it filmed in L.A. or was
No, it was filmed, I think, in Philadelphia or something. But the whole idea was that would scare the shit out of me. It really would. And to me, that was done very realistically.
Well,
and
it was the
and
first.
It was just all it was just a sequel to.
But it was the first really gory one. I mean, you had Dario Argento and all those guys making all these, Zombie 4 or whatever. What guy's name was?
They get him out finally. Now you can relax.
No, you can't.
Nope.
What are you talking
No,
about?
you can't.
No.
Somebody's getting fucked up, and there you go.
Yeah.
And that.
But I cry when Spock dies in Wrath of Khan.
Oh, I did too. Damn, I saw I was watching a YouTube video on the way here, and it was some kid that reunited with his puppy, and I'm crying.
What?
You know? Yeah,
because we're getting old, man.
You're getting old, man. You get sentimental, man.
That happens all the time.
You know what?
I was telling him the other day. I was on the elliptical and I was watching.
The estrogen.
What the hell is
You
it?
were on what?
What's the Trish Stratus on the network?
Oh, yeah.
And it was her
Trish
comeback,
Stratus.
and she's crying, and all of a sudden I'm on the elliptical and I'm crying on the. I'm like, this
Dude,
is terrible.
who didn't cry when Flair looked up
Oh my
and got
God.
the kick from Shawn Michaels?
Oh my God.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and Shawn Michaels
Okay,
says
fine.
thank you.
Okay,
know?
I'm with you
that
on
was
that one.
That was.
Yeah.
And then you watch This Is Us.
Yeah.
Don't.
I
no,
cry
you
week. Come on,
No,
best
you
show.
don't.
No, I don't cry on it though. But
Come
You
on.
watch it?
But it's yes, I have seen it
I thought we're Libras. What are you talking about? You watched that?
occasionally.
Were you
My daughter
were you
watches it.
I was gonna be. Were you drawn in by a female?
My daughter.
force?
My daughter.
Fine, then it's
My
fine.
daughter.
I understand.
It's a great
My
show.
wife is trying
It's
to
good,
get me
it's
to
good.
watch.
I try
it.
to
I'm
get
like,
him to watch.
This is wrong. She's like, no, This Is Us. I'm like, this is wrong. I can't watch this. It's
But,
too sappy.
but-
he cries every time he calls me up.
It's-
I want to
it's-
talk wrestling. He's like,
It's emotional, man. I mean, shit happens. Look, I remember.
I'm
one-
emotional enough without it. I don't need it.
Speaking to Jimmy, one time I was getting all, I was getting all emotional. I just remember him looking at me and go, brother, don't cry, you stupid cunt. I was like that, but Jimmy would be
Soft and sensitive.
Jimmy would be the first one to get. So when Jimmy was dying, we went to
Right.
see him, and basically we went to his house and went to see him, and it was sad what happened, and his wife Carol, God, I love her. I love her. I can't call her mom. Got to call her big sis. She'll
Okay.
kill me. But
Fair enough.
Carol's was a wonderful woman. She took care of him, and he had cancer, and it was tough. That was tough. So that was tough. I was crying while I was there with him, and he was like, just relax. But I could see he was starting to well up.
Sure.
But
if I can say this, I'd like to say this because we did get the chance to see him in person. It was a couple of years back before he died, but I actually was really frustrated when they started to try to re-examine the case because after seeing him in person, and he was a sweetheart,
Yeah.
it was also very clear that he was losing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are they picking on him? That
Yeah, it
actually,
was
at this
horrible.
point, seemed to me like, so it is something I do remember. I did get to meet the guy. He was amazing. He was so nice.
Yeah,
On a positive note, I was thinking about Snuka last week actually, and with all this flippy stuff that goes on now, I could remember when, no matter what was going on in his match, you sat there and you waited for him to jump. The simple jumping off the rope was one of the greatest moves ever. And the crap you see now, it's like I still had that feeling back then, you know what I mean? Watching that happen. It's amazing.
But now you don't have that fact.
No.
It's anticlimactic.
What's happening?
No.
Everybody's going to kick out of it anyway.
It's very cartoonish. Right now, it's escalated to the point where the next move is the Acme truck is going to pull up. Let's listen to me. Going to pull up. They're going to install a zipper on the guy's neck. The guy's going to zip his neck open, lay his head back, drop a stick of dynamite in the body, and blow him up all over the arena.
Does the bill go backwards and then he puts it back?
Right, exactly, right?
Yeah, he puts a bill on his face, and he puts the zipper here, and there's opens the neck, flips it back.
Right, but unfortunately,
it's absurd.
But unfortunately, like Daffy Duck, who after he did that pronounced they can only do this once. We have this happening 7 times during a match.
Right.
Seven times in a row.
This is a great segue, which is why New Evolution Wrestling has some guys that can do lucha libre.
You gotta have a
which
mix.
involves flying, but we're not going to put 15 lucha libre guys in a match to make it where everybody's got to get their shit in. It doesn't work like that. There's a formula to how to use it and when, because there is something to be said for acrobatics in athletics. Who would have ever thought the simplest fucking thing? Who would have ever thought that it was a right thing to do was a drop kick? What fucking morons was the first guy that said, I'm going to leave my feet. I'm supposed to stay on my feet. I'm not supposed to be on my back. So why am I putting myself horizontal? So he wasn't really a moron. He was looking for something more. He says, I can not only, I can not only do the thing
But you know what?
be doing,
But
I can get
it's
away
always
with
been
it
a
and hurt the
suspension
guy.
of belief.
Right.
You know, it's always been a
That's
suspension
my
of belief.
point.
You know,
But you didn't do it every single. How many times did you see Tito Santana during a match do a dropkick, or Rick Martel, or any of the guys who did the dropkick?
Yeah, but it was like a weapon, though. Like, look, I was watching AEW this week. But you've got to put it's got to be in the storyline. So AEW had whatever Cody Rhodes was wrestling whoever, I can't remember the guy's name, and Cody Rhodes really mad at him. The first thing he does is give him a drop kick. No, man, you're gonna be punching. You're pissed. You're gonna be punching him in the face. Use the drop kick later on. Yeah.
And if you have an advantage, you can use judo, karate, all the other martial arts that are incorporated in this thing.
Well, that's why I love John Moxley, because he just comes out so he's beating the shit out of you.
Sure.
And then he'll do some moves later.
And by the way, he looked pretty juiced up. It looks like he's getting a little juicy.
He's getting big.
He's eating some serious.
He's taking the gas. So listen, you guys are two famous guys. You were in a wrestler. Can you tell a story about how you got involved in a wrestler? And then I want to ask you, how do you avoid getting baited into some of these fake bullshit movies that half these directors are out there trying to sucker you into?
You don't. You do whatever somebody brings you.
The wrestler, I got a phone call from Evan Ginsberg. Evan calls up and says, "Why don't you come in?" Am I hearing an echo?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Evan Ginsberg says, "Come in, audition," because apparently Darren Aronofsky came to see me wrestle at a show, and it was one of those shows where I totally lost my mind. Took the chain, swung like a propeller, chased the crowd into the bleachers. Well, I went ahead and I auditioned for the role of Lex Lethal, whatever he was called at the time. And I didn't get that role, but Darren liked me so much that he put me in the movie. So I auditioned twice. Once for Lex Lethal, and I came back, they called me back, and they said, well, and I read in front of Darren Aronofsky and Evan, and and I read my lines. So my lines in the movie were red lines. That got me grandfathered into the Screen Actors Guild.
That's awesome.
Right? So I actually auditioned. I wasn't there like a lot of the other guys in the locker room scenes were just ad-libbed.
I got a question for you. Were you directed to put your glasses on, or was that all you just doing?
No, that was just me.
That's awesome, man. I know that movie in and out, man. I can remember everything about it. So
movie.
Yeah, I had my glasses on in a lot of the scenes, and it was pretty cool. I mean, I actually wrestled in a scene against this kid, George Vieira wrestler named Brawley, a big burly kid, nice guy, really nice guy. But he carried the shit out of me because I had tore ACL and meniscus in my right knee, and I was heading for surgery. And that was filmed in, I think, January, and that was in March. I had the surgery, but he carried my ass on the match for that, and so I think that's why it got cut. But as far as that goes, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that was great. I mean, I've done a lot of other films. I'm doing a movie directed and produced by writer J.D. Glasscock. Don't laugh at the word Glasscock. All right, a lot of people are giving me heat about that.
Wait! Hold on! Can you spell that, please?
Yeah, Glasscock.
It really is C-O-C-K?
Yes, it is C-O-C-K.
You couldn't even get a K-O-K or something like that.
The guy is.
Boy, that's being
he's done a lot. He's got
completely
a lot of awards. He's legit. He's a great guy. I mean, he's directed a lot of films. And he's trying to do it. This is going to be his first major feature film, and he put me in it as a role of a serial killer, a character called Crank, and you know, it's
stereotype.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I could see you as a serial
killer. So
looks like a dentist.
So how do you avoid again? Everybody, look.
I look like a serial killer.
Everybody, look. You guys are the real deal. Everybody's a wrestler nowadays. Everybody's an actor nowadays. Everybody makes movies nowadays. Everybody's a book writer nowadays. Not this gentleman. He's a real book writer. He's a real book writer. How do you get? I mean, you must get hit up all the time. And how do you isn't the point of acting is to make money, right? To get paid for it.
Yeah.
I mean, with all the shit going on, how do you get around this?
Well, you filter it. You filter through things. I mean, and you look, you live and you learn too. You know, I mean, with the indie stuff, I really can't do that much indie stuff anymore. You know, indie films, I have to ask permission now because I'm SAG-AFTRA, and like I just did, I did Gotham. I got a great management team of Mike Mullen and Kelly. They're great, and my agent Roger and Elise, they're phenomenal. And you know, I mean, I call Team Anderson. We call it Team Anderson. So I got management. See, a lot of people. I said we're not going to talk about money, but I don't get the 10% taken out. I get 15. So I got 7.5 and 7.5 to my manager and to the agent. They work together, but they get me great roles. I mean, Sneaky Pete, I play an arms deal on Sneaky Pete. You have now. I just auditioned. I sent in an audition today. My daughter actually filmed me. I'm playing a homeless person in some TV series. I forgot. I don't even remember the name of the series because my agent said, "Get this out right now. Here's the script." Boom, and I just did it like that. You know. Right. Well, okay, leave me alone.
What a plug.
You know, so, but you know, I'm doing what I can. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's every now and again I get those checks. I mean, and it's just like, you know, I just got a check a couple days ago. It's like, you see the SAG written on it and everything, and you open it up and you get credits for this, credits for that, and you get it all adds up at the end of the year.
Are you also in that Academy Award-winning movie Good Friday? Are you part of that?
Well, I don't really know where that's headed. I know that I did some scenes with yes.
Sorry, bro. Just taking a shot.
I'm so confused. I'm like,
what
the fuck is going
I guess
on?
I think you guys know Sal Ranella.
Is this a religious film? What's going on?
You were just here when I was in the studio. So go ahead.
Was he in the studio? He was
actually in the studio. He's actually a good friend of the owner, Jim Savali, whose wife's birthday is today. Jennifer.
Is this movie ever going to get made? Well, I know.
Is this movie ever going to get made?
Yes. I was supposed to
won an award at the Corona Film Festival or something.
I'm getting very, very confused.
We made it at the same time as the Lollipop Gang.
Whoa! That's another great.
It was a trailer.
You're in that. That's incredible.
Did I really hear
the film? How can
ask me what my name is?
What's your name in Lollipop Gang?
Johnny Salami.
Johnny Salami.
And I actually know a Johnny Salami.
Sounds incredible.
And
where can I catch this film?
I'm not sure yet. Yeah, probably in Christopher Nino's or Angel Amorosa's files somewhere right now. But eventually, I know I'm going to get called back to do some more work.
What do you mean, Lollipop Gang 2?
Lollipop Gang 2.
To finish Lollipop Gang.
Okay.
Actually, it could be pretty funny if it's.
I actually know Chris Nino, and I think he's a really nice guy. I like him. I like him a lot.
I don't know anybody. All my question is this:
Chris is a
are
good
a
guy.
real actor.
Chris
You
is
are a real wrestler.
Chris Anino is a real good guy.
No,
and I
but
got to
you're
tell
a
you
real
this. Well,
wrestler.
I don't know what beef he has with Chris Anino, but when I did the listen, I got to tell. Big. Hold on one second. I got to say this. When I got my men's wrestling award at the Cauliflower Alley.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Chris Anino last May, he put together the most awesome highlight reel.
There we go.
And I don't even remember. I just remember Jim Ross saying to me, only Jim Ross could say it. Son, he goes, you've been in a hell of a lot of cage matches. That's all he said to me. I was like, and he's like, you put your body through hell, you know?
I don't know any of these guys. All I'm doing is asking a question. I've seen this man.
I didn't know anything about winning any film festivals as far as Good Friday because all I know is it was only a trailer. It was only like a 15-minute trailer, a 10-minute trailer, and
Andrew, if you pay enough, you could be the actor of the year.
Listen, there you go. I guess you know. But I know that I was supposed to reshoot the film with them. Well, we shot that. I didn't even know if won any awards because it was a trailer, you know. So I was supposed to
won the award for best trailer.
From who?
Sal, you should have called me. I would have been at the awards. I would have walked down the red carpet. So another thing that I don't see. This is what I'm telling you about. I'm learning things right now as I say this. You guys are educating me.
I'm trying.
You're learning me.
I'm trying. But I'm here to practice.
You know what? How about a serious question on film? When you sat down and you watched The Wrestler for the first time, what were we thinking? Like, crap, this is
loved
great.
it. I loved it.
This is certainly not...
Once again, getting to the emotional point of a person's life, it hit me hard because one of my best friends and a guy I helped break into business, Paul Enormous, was in the scenes with me. He was the big guy with the tattoo.
His name is great.
And Paul E. Enormous.
Yes.
And to see Paul, he died 4 days, 3 days before, 4 days before. No, about a week before the premiere.
Young boy.
I didn't know
He died like right before the premiere, and I totally forgot that he was in the movie with me. And I'm sitting in the movie theater, and all of a sudden the scenes of him come on, and I just start, and everybody's like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy? He's in the movie and he's fucking crying."
Right.
You know, I was like, "Was his role that bad?" You know, I mean, I hate seeing myself on screen. I mean, look, you know, it's like one of those things. I feel
No, just see him.
You're not going to watch this on playback?
No, listen. So seeing myself on screen is different, but seeing Paul on screen was very gut wrenching and heartbreaking.
Just talking to somebody about him the other day.
But
it's funny you say that.
But as far as seeing myself, I hate watching myself on film because it's the old Terry Funk story. You when you're diving off the top rope, when you're doing it, and after you've done it, and the people chant "Holy shit," or the top of a cage, you think you look like a bird of prey flying, but instead you look like a freaking pigeon shot out of a tree. You know, and true, it is. It really is like that. And you know, guys, I gotta say, you know, I mean, I see these kids. I know they do things. They video themselves for years. I would never give my cell phone or my camcorder way back when, and I would never film myself and say, "Let me watch what I can do better." I know when I fucked up, where I fucked up. And I'm not being arrogant when I said that, but my reason for not wanting to watch was I hated watching myself. I just hated it wasn't that I didn't want to, you know, study my own mistakes
And
and
yet,
stuff.
somehow, other people manage to like watching you.
Yes, and yet
Thank God for that.
Thank God,
the
right?
general public doesn't think like you
I know.
big dope.
Hey, listen,
Big likes to watch himself.
Here's his promo.
yeah,
Here's his promo. Hi, I'm
he has a
Andrew.
mirror on his bed.
Hi,
His toilet? His toilet?
You might like me. I don't particularly care for me, watching me, but you might. So maybe buy a ticket. Come see if you. There's a lot of other people on the show. And, you gotta, gotta have confidence.
Look, you don't know what's real, what's fake. When we first got into it, we were baited in by people that said they were pro wrestlers. We're like, holy shit, you get to meet them and all that stuff, and you find out that, they're whatever.
You live and learn with everything. As far as I didn't know Sal was on the show. I don't know about anything about winning an award.
I don't know anything about that.
Mean to offend you, Sal, but.
Any wrestlers ever let you down? You ever meet somebody that you looked up to? You met him.
Look at the Pharaoh pulling away from the. We were just about to
He's
talk about the Corona Film Festival.
He's got a good answer. I was
going to bring up the Smithtown Film
I'm
Festival.
going to give you a perfect example. Andrew Martin, Test.
Test.
Yeah.
I wrestled him
Another one,
in
rest
front
in
of a
peace.
sellout crowd. His first match back after his injury and getting let go by the WWE.
His theme song sucked.
I wrestled him in his first match back at the New Jersey Expo Center, and I wrestled him in the main event. It was a good match, very good match, back and forth. I worked his leg the whole time, but going over the match with him, he was such an egotistical fucking prick. God rest your soul, buddy. You know, I don't know anything about, didn't meet you before, never talked to you since, but during that match, I was like, man, he's looking down at me like I'm a piece of shit. You know? Like I'm a piece of shit. He talked to me. And then during the match, the whole time he was so worried I was gonna hurt his leg. Well, I had him in the ring. And I was like, no, and I thought to myself, and I had him in a half crab, I was sitting to myself saying to him, well, you know, he's saying, don't, I just had surgery for this, that. And I'm like, dude, well, why the fuck did you talk to me like that? That's what I'm thinking to myself. Right. If I really wanted to be a fucking prick. Yeah. You know, but I just remember he was just so fucking, he was so degrading. And he was so, it was, and then I just remember that same night, I remember 2 weeks later, I wrestled in the same building for same company, 2 months later, and it was against, it was with Kamala and the Missing Link were in the locker room, and I wound up getting pretty close with Dewey Robertson over the years, and Kamala, another good friend of mine, you know, Jimmy Harris, and they were great guys. You wrestled with these old timers that were so professional, yet he was a freaking total, you know, Tess was a total prick. And the old timers are so you know, it's different generations. You know what I'm saying? I guess you know, I don't know. He got it handed to him on a silver platter, from what I understand.
Let me ask you this: the younger guys that when you're in the locker room, do they show you the respect that you deserve?
Most of the time, it's pretty cool. You know, most of the time they do. I've been in locker rooms where people act like they don't know you, but they know you because I know you're friends with them on Facebook. You know. Yeah. So I recognize faces.
Are you maxed out on Facebook? I can't get through.
Yes, I am. I'm always.
That's annoying.
I eliminate.
Again!
Listen,
hey, Ben, can you get me through the door?
I eliminate people. And in an hour they're back. What? Because I don't even have my agent and my manager. They all have access to my Facebook. Sure. Like occasionally you'll see me rant about somebody being a fucking prick or whatever, you motherfucker, and all of a sudden it's gone like 4 hours later. It's because I get. You can't do that.
It's edited. You get censored.
You can't do that. You're an actor. You have to be this way. You have to be that way.
How do you feel about Billy Graham melting down on Facebook?
I just think the meltdowns are just getting ridiculous. I love him. I worship the man.
He really had a bad one.
As a childhood hero of mine, he has a lot of bad ones lately. You know, it's just like I think he deleted me off Facebook because I said something to him. I said I always called him Champ out of respect. I said, Champ. I said, I think the guy's actually a really nice guy. I forgot who we were talking about, and he went ahead and just, next thing I know, deleted.
Wow.
So,
I just, when I didn't know you, and when I first started with back in Nassau or whatever, there was some kind of wrestling group, and that's where I first saw the respect you got. They were talking shit. I don't know what it was, but somehow your name was kept getting thrown around in this group, and you pop on and be like, what are you guys talking about? And everybody's like, oh, Andrew, we love you. And it's like the list that all these guys going down.
Man.
I remember that.
It was hilarious. Yeah, you showed
pretty
up.
Pretty funny. I'm like, this guy's got some pop.
Farts versus old something or others. I'm trying. I can't remember. Am I on to the right?
So I got to ask Big a question. All right. So you on one of our shows, the Pam Roth show now, right?
Okay. I love
called
Pam.
in. She's great.
Yeah, I met her at Comic-Con a few years ago.
Okay. She is one hell of a person. But I called in. What's the deal with this guy Don Tony?
Whoa!
I need to know.
Wait a minute.
We'll give the guy a couple of minutes of fame. And
give him some minutes of fame. So Don Tony, just so people don't know, he's got a. Why people may not know who Don Tony is.
Quiet. Have you noticed, Jim?
Never heard of him.
Have you noticed?
There you go.
I have been very quiet. I'm giving the space to my brother here.
No, listen, go ahead, Big God. I'm curious.
Just let the audience know who this fella is, please.
This is a fellow who pumped in a lot of money into USA Pro Wrestling, handing it directly to Frank Goodman or paying it out to certain people to make himself seem like he was the promoter or the co-promoter or the the right-hand man, whatever.
Commissioner Gordon?
He just, to me, was a joke.
Okay,
him trying to get in his gimmick. I don't know what his gimmick was. I don't know. And it was not trained. and yet he wants to be a manager in wrestling. He took Low-Life Louie, who I love, and happy birthday again, brother. Happy birthday.
What's his birthday today?
It was today or yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, Low-Life. I love him. Good guy.
He's one of the greatest independent wrestlers there is. He's got the death match.
Oh, he's a hardcore, but you know what? He's
a hardcore, but
he can go anyway. He went old school or hardcore.
I wanted to turn him into High Life Louie and have him come out. He would have been the biggest heel because he would have come out in black and wrestled, just all wrestling. No blood, nothing. The fans would have gone crazy. They would have thrown shit at us.
So back to Ronzoni.
All right. But my point is, Don Tony wants to get so involved in this guy's career that I don't know if he was paying him instead of Frank having to pay him. But Louis, take the payday, take the match. Did a thing where he brought in a phony Low-Life Louis. He did another thing where he came out with pizzas, and he came out in the chef's, like the Italian chef. So many stupid things, and was ridiculous. Was in the way, was a braggart, and didn't pay fast enough. And it was when I went to collect money.
How did the story end?
Well, the story ended one day. He owed the last of whatever he owed to Frank Goodman. I went to his insurance agency that he has on Cross Bay Boulevard, and I picked up the last money. And I said, see ya. And I never saw him again after that. I left it like, you're a schmuck. I don't have to waste my time. There's guys who don't belong in the business. He is out of the business. Another guy.
I got
Johnny Hampson.
I got a question. Johnny Diamond. I slapped the cigarette out of his mouth, and before you know it, he had a lawsuit against me saying I tried to slap him.
Really? No, listen, he was a good guy.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
Yeah. No.
He wasn't the smartest guy in the world. But he meant well, but the problem is he wasn't equipped or trained to do this thing.
He was a sick man. He had liver problems or something.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been doing it physically. But I wrestled the match. I made him famous. It was a tuxedo match, and I got him down to his skivvies, and he's wearing SpongeBob SquarePants.
I'm mortified.
And a wife beater. And Sean McCaffrey is a funny fuck. He says, there's Johnny Diamond. He's down to his wife beater, and we know he beats his wife.
Oy.
That was it was just timing. It was like a 1950s broadcast, But Don Tony didn't belong in the business. I'm glad he's out.
Let me ask you a question. You're talking about not belonging in the business. How the hell does a promoter like Frank Goodman book that American Giant against that other retarded guy?
Because
wait a minute, what's his ring name? The other retarded
Freight
guy?
Train, Charles Freight Train, I think Freeman or Stevens. I'm not sure. Freight Train.
The kid is obviously
Freight
retarded.
Train.
And this American Giant guy looks like he doesn't belong in the ring either.
He talks slow. I met him. He's a normal human being.
Who, the American Giant?
I met him too.
Isn't that the guy that was he did something with the flag recently? I think I saw.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I just saw some kind of interviews with them, and it was horrible. It was horrible. It was. You know what? It set wrestling back 50 years.
It's a side
How
show.
many?
50 at least.
It's a side show, right? Exactly right.
What?
It's a side
Primo Carnera and Swedish Angel pulling Mighty Joe Young.
Congratulations,
Pre that. UHF.
Oh my! What?
Which, by the way, we didn't finish the story that we were saying because Big and I got sidetracked.
Yeah.
The story about wrestling, watching wrestling, first time I saw wrestling.
UHF solely Florida.
UHF, no, not Florida.
Lucha Libre?
No, wrestling from the Olympic Auditorium in California.
Oh, yeah.
And the first wrestler
in Spanish.
in
Lucha
Spanish,
Libre.
the first wrestler that I saw wrestle,
Yeah.
physically wrestle on TV.
John Tolos.
Nope.
Adorable agent.
Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Wow.
Coming in the ring with his robes.
Wow.
And he wrestled, I'll never forget the guy's name, Joe Turco, because my neighbor was named Turco.
Turco.
My neighbor had a last name Turco, and the guy's name was Joe Turco.
John Tolos was like king of those Olympic.
So was Fred Blassie.
Yeah, yes, he was.
And I think Blassie managed. I think Blassie managed Greg. I think I'm not sure.
And
but
Adrian Street was big in the California.
Adrian Street
was big.
I just spoke to him recently. He moved back to Wales.
From the beginning, when I first saw him, there was something about him, and I've been friends with him for a long time.
And who's this?
Adrian Street. We call it pen pals, you know what I mean? But I have tremendous
He's
talent.
your pen pal too.
Tremendous talent. Really was. He was physically capable, could wrestle the shit out of you, turn you into,
He's a great character.
Oh my God.
And the character with the
it's lacking in business. Nowadays the business is lacking it. I mean,
dude, he's still huge too.
He looks great. He looks great. He's almost 80.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Or is he 80?
Yeah, I think he is.
Weigh in on women's wrestling.
Oh, love it. Love it. Love it.
I like I like intergender wrestling also.
No, I think that's horrible.
See, New Evolution Wrestling.
You're blocking.
New Evolution Wrestling does intergender wrestling, but we do it where it makes sense.
What makes sense?
I'll tell you what makes sense.
Please explain.
Princess Ashanti and Bobby Venom are the same height.
Yeah.
The same weight.
All right.
Have worked the same amount of years in
so
wrestling.
So you don't have Nyla Rose beating that 90-pound AEW.
It's not Dawn Marie versus the Big Show.
Dawn Marie.
Okay, Dawn Marie. I know because you haven't heard that. Oh, it's not Miss
So
Elizabeth.
you try to give the feel
I
like
just
a
don't
man.
get the
Hulk
gender.
Hogan. It's not that. It's real intergender. Oh, you think you're tough enough to step with a man? Then you're going to step with a man. It's America, and I prefer our intergender tag team matches.
Yeah, well, that's more
because that's different.
That's different.
Because then you take two men and one woman, you can interchange, but woman still has to fight a man if that's what works out. Okay, and sometimes it'll be two women and one man on each side. You know, it's on the trio matches, and sometimes it'll just be a man and a woman versus a man and a woman. However,
women's wrestling now is just unbelievable. I mean,
it's real wrestling.
It's unbelievable. I think WWE, AEW, I think that they're just tremendous.
How great is Charlotte Flair?
Unbelievable, unbelievable.
How about that? What's that?
They have come to a whole different level. I mean, it's, and you know what? You look at the '70s and the early '80s. It was amazing.
Do you still watch today's product?
No. I watch AEW. I watch AEW.
Do you watch anything consistently?
I watch Ring of Honor because it's on Stadium TV and all kinds of weird hours.
Ring of Honor's cool.
And there's replays, so I get to actually know who
you see
I'm
anything
watching.
else on any kind of regular basis?
I watch also
NWA Power.
Isn't that great? That's Mike's favorite.
See,
that's Mike's favorite.
They are.
Yeah.
And I'm coming out and I'm saying it again.
Of great or corny. They got to stay on that fine line.
This is
great.
Yeah.
Because if they go over the line
Losing
and start
Cornette
doing
was not good.
plays, little scripts out in the front of that bench, it ain't going to work. It's got to be Gordon Soley style, Florida wrestling style. The interviews by the desk, because that's the only neutral area in this joint, until you decide to barrel over the freaking table. All right, and then the neutrality's gone. Then all of a sudden, Gordon and Jim or whoever's doing the interview has got to split from that, and the melee takes place.
Andrew,
I watched AEW out of curiosity. Mm-hmm. To me, I have a lot of friends that are on there. Sonny Kiss, I love him. He's great. He's awesome. I'm so proud of him.
Had a good
gimmick. He had one of his first matches with me, if not his first match. I love the kid. He's gone a long way. You know what I'm saying? And I can't begin to say enough about him. But as far as AEW, I was curious at first. I'm a big Jim Ross fan. Jim Ross he helped with the induction of me into the Cauliflower Alley award ceremony. Him and Kevin Sullivan.
I'm even glad Shivani's back.
Shivani's awesome too. So I love hearing Shivani's voice.
Me too.
With Jim Ross together, it's like old school. But
it's great.
I'm a big fan of Dustin Rhodes. Just love him. So AEW, it's a different product, not what I'm used to. I don't like all the kickouts and finishes. So I nitpick, but it's still a great thing. This is the golden age of wrestling right now. If you ask me right now, we have so many places to work from MLW, which is another great product. But out of everything, I say it and I say it again. I'm going to say this now, once for all. Why the fuck am I not on NWA Power?
You should be.
You know what? Everybody and their mother have said I'm a perfect fucking fit.
I agree.
Yet I've been overlooked, and I was an NWA owner. I own a little big. Don't go off now. I'm ready to rant now.
Have you contacted them?
You know what? Dave Lagana knows me. He knows me. He has my number. I've spoken to him numerous occasions. You know, I've treated everybody in
now,
in
wait
the
a minute.
NWA.
Your line was longer than theirs at the big event.
You know?
Wait a second. Hello.
No, but I want to hear. So,
go on.
Did you reach out to him? Did you say, hey?
Nick Aldis is, to me, the epitome of a champion. He is the best.
I'm enjoying
He is
him. Yep.
awesome. I love Nick Aldis. I respect him, and I like him as a person. I've had numerous conversations with him. He's a gentleman. He's a great guy. He represents the product, and he has taken that legacy to a new level. Tim Storm is one of my best friends. Loved him, worked him numerous times, challenged him for the NWA title, challenged him for the NWA North American Heavyweight title. Tim Storm, I have nothing but great things to say about him.
I don't want to get personal on that, but you're friends with the guy.
I love
Can't
Tim.
you say, hey, Tim?
I don't ask anybody to call a favor. I don't pull
No
the favor
favors.
card. I don't pull the favor card. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like me for my work or you don't like me for my
Yeah,
look,
but you know, Andrew, with all due respect,
There's
maybe they
nothing-
just don't know enough. You
They
know?
know enough about me.
Like when you've got.
Maybe
I've
that's
always
not
felt like
valid.
you've got the
That's
look.
just not valid.
You've got everything
What they
that's
may
going
not
on.
know- What they may not know is just how much you would like to be there and help.
They know that. I think they
do
know
know
that. I
that?
think they know that.
All right. Well, let's
I don't
make
know
that
if you
clear.
now.
Let's
I'm
make
gonna go.
that
I'm
clear.
gonna go on the air and announce
Yeah,
something
let's
for you
make that
guys.
clear.
Good.
This April, there's an old saying: only Nixon can go to China. Well, there's another saying.
Okay.
Only Anderson can go to Cuba.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
I'm taking
Nice.
what was the remnants of my NWA Big Apple, what I'm calling it now, and I'm just going to put it together. And I've gotten sponsors because there's really no money to be made there, and I'm bringing wrestling to Cuba.
That's great.
In April, and I've offered
we
Nick
go?
Aldis
I want to go.
the opportunity to come. I said I'd love to have you as part of it because I don't want to see you as just champion in Atlanta and forever other companies you're working for representing the NWA. I would love you to be international, and I think and I would. It's an open door. I would love them to bring Nick Aldis with whoever they want him to be challenged by, you know. And I mean, it would be a great thing, and that's where I'm leaving it at. But
That's great.
I think me with Josephus. Me with Trevor Murdoch. I mean,
Okay.
those are perfect
I'm
fits right
seeing
there.
that,
You know what I'm saying?
Josephus. Oh
So
my God.
I mean, hell, I'll even be Ken Anderson's bodyguard. You know what I'm saying? Let them see what I could do. You know? I mean,
And one of my personal
Oh, we could call you
favorites-
exclamation point. You could wear a mask and tag
dude,
team
with
with
the
question.
yeah,
question
Steve with the
mark.
question mark.
Right?
All right.
Exclamation point.
Yep.
I don't want him to be semicolon. That sounds like he's not.
I was semicolon in your bathroom before. Oh. That was the rumble you heard.
God,
We got
Green fog.
we got about 5 minutes. So what do you
That's
guys?
it? Wow.
All right,
that
how
was
about if
fast.
Lenny, you don't mind me plugging a thing?
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
just
what you're here for,
60
brother. Let's go.
To
baby.
take
Hit
four
it.
words.
Hit it.
March 7th. Don't worry about the venue. It's going to happen someplace close. Queens, New Evolution Wrestling's got a show. That's our next scheduled show. March 7th, prior to the show, which would take place in the evening, we're taking a table or two or three at the big event, which takes place at the LaGuardia Hotel.
I'll be there.
Was it 10404 Ditmars Boulevard in Flushing?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Andrew Anderson will be there. I'll be there. Robert Saint and a lot of the boys from New Evolution Wrestling, Super Nitro.
I think I'm going to be there with Kevin Sullivan on my table.
Sullivan. Yes, no, that's the. By the way, Kevin Sullivan is the guy I had my first physical contact with in the ring in professional wrestling.
Was he good to you?
He's a very good guy.
Well,
No, was he good to you in your
he
first
was
physical
busy-
contact?
He was busy trying to burn the balls of Matt Stryker with a Bic lighter.
Listen, Kevin's out of it. Kevin's out of his mind. He's a
Him
good
and
guy.
the wall had Stryker down, and they had his legs up, and they were trying to burn his balls. And I had to grab Sullivan and pull him off, say, "You can't do that." And he gave me a look, which truthfully, like it said, "Well, I can't do that." I backed up and there comes the wall. He was no longer a wall; he was a train. All right, and he put me into the turnbuckle, and that was my first physical contact with anybody in the wrestling ring. I was security that particular night.
I want to give a plug out for Allendale, East Coast Pro Wrestling. Allendale on the 20th of December. The 21st of December, we're going to East Coast Pro Wrestling is going to be in East Stroudsburg. I'm wrestling Alpha Junior, so it's almost like Anderson versus Samoan. So it's kind of a legacy match. I recently had an argument, not an argument. I had an argument with Greg saying, Greg said, "Well, you know, Arn's pissed at you," and I said, "Arn's pissed at me. Why would Arn be pissed at me?" So I went up to Arn. I said, "Arn, are you mad at me?" Greg said, "You're mad at me for something." He goes, "Hell no, I love you, man." He goes, "I ain't mad at you." He goes, "It's like, oh, look at what." I think Greg was ribbing me. So I think, Greg likes to rib me and do that to me. And I go look like an ass sometimes. But and then this December 13th, we have East Coast Pro Wrestling Adrenaline TV taping in Richfield Park, New Jersey. So that's what I got coming up to the end of the year. After that, I don't even know. I don't even have my information with me, but I'm pretty maxed out. March 7th, March 21st,
April 11th.
March 14th. I am in Ohio for big time wrestling with Bobby Fulton's group over there. God, I got so many things coming up. I can't even. Oh, God.
By the way, prayers to Bobby Fulton. Right?
Yeah, as well as Tracy Smothers.
Yeah.
So they're both undergoing.
Robert Saint has been in contact with them. Maybe doing something.
Not
I
to
would
make
say
this,
I don't want to. You know what? It's too early to do it. Even a
Bobby's a great guy. Bobby Fulton's a great guy. He's done a lot for me as far as as a friend to a friend. Just being there to have your back, as well as Tracy Smothers is just a great dude.
Not to make it a trifecta, but I just read about Rene Goulet. I guess that was a delayed.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Goulet has
Because somebody woke up to it from May.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I knew
that's
about
so
it in
strange.
May
Did you?
and put all my sad faces and whatever.
Yep.
I knew
Yeah, I had
it
no
was like when he
idea.
came out with the shiny glove and all of that. You knew that he was part of their development process, like Johnny Rodz. Because if you can get past Rene Goulet,
Right.
okay, and
Especially in the later days, he
and
didn't
and
hold the
look
belt
good.
though. He was attacked.
He was in New Japan at his age, working with Andre.
The
What
guy-
about the whole
the guy was
Sergeant
real good at
Shock
what he
thing?
did.
What do you think there, Monty?
I don't know.
Sergeant Shock.
Hey guys, I also want to give a plug out to a good friend of mine, Ace Frehley from Kiss.
Oh.
He's got an upcoming album coming out, Origins Volume 2.
Is Eddie
Nice.
Kramer producing it? I hope.
No, I
Because
don't
when you
think
put
so.
him with Ace together- no, I'm serious. The two of them together, man. Ooh.
But Ace,
Sorry,
Ace
back
just
in the New York
Ace
room.
just moved back to Jersey. He called me yesterday. He was actually heading out to Fort Wayne, Indiana. They're actually playing tonight. They're doing a show there tonight. I was texting with him
Are
back and
him and
forth.
Peter gonna?
I never really,
Are they gonna get on stage
I
for the
don't
last
broach,
time with
I
those
don't,
two
I don't
guys?
broach the
Jeez.
subject. I don't broach the subject to either of them. Ace, I'm extremely close with Ace now.
Yeah.
We've gotten really tight, and I don't ask, but I'm plugging. He's a
How do
great
you
guy.
feel about Frank and Ace?
I don't like.
feel about Ace Frehley.
If you notice, I hashtag a lot.
Frank and Ace.
Sorry, hashtag Tommy Thayer sucks. Tommy Thayer's fake. I'm not a Tommy Thayer
Oh, he's
fan.
a good player, but he's Frank and Ace. Never mind.
Look, I respect Eric Singer as a drummer. Kiss, Revenge
awesome.
Era, everything.
He's an excellent
That's
drummer.
Kiss.
He's
That's
an
Kiss.
excellent drummer.
They have no makeup. That's Kiss.
Right.
If you would have put Vinnie Vincent Ace Frehley makeup, I'd say fuck you, Vinnie Vincent.
Right.
But really, it's fuck Eugene and Paul. You know what I'm saying? Because that's
Of
what they're
course
doing.
it is.
That's what they're doing,
It
Ace and
is.
Peter. So
What are you doing April 11th?
What am I? I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. What are you
it's
talking
just-
about?
And what are you doing April 11th?
I don't know.
Well, we're going to the Aloft Hotel. You know where the Aloft Hotel is?
This sounds
It's actually
dirty
a few
already.
doors
no,
down.
I'm not. We're in separate bedrooms.
Yeah,
What we're
What's
doing.
going on here?
Shut up! It's a few doors down from the LaGuardia Hotel.
Okay.
And we're doing a show.
All right.
The hotel is sponsoring us to do a show.
Wow.
At the hotel.
Who are we working?
That's how fucking good we are.
Who are we working?
Don't know yet.
Okay.
Don't matter. It's going to be fun. Whatever
Okay.
we do, come on, the last matches I got.
Listen to me.
You got a little exercise.
Oh, you know why? Because he was talking. I had to run away from the bearded lady.
Oh, I thought you made him wrestle Puma King.
No, listen, no, the beard. Oh, excuse me. The artist formerly known as the bearded lady. She
Right,
fucking
shaved.
shaved.
Oh, nice.
What?
Listen to me.
I'm making
Listen to me.
this
Nobody's
guy
ever
big
seen me
John
run
stuff.
so fucking fast with my luggage when this bearded lady came chasing at me. She was.
Have you ever wrestled Caveman?
I am making him.
I like him. He's a nice guy.
He knows
I am making
Caveman.
He's a nice guy.
John Stud.
Great light heavyweight.
Revolution Wrestling. And he won't even let me get a fucking plug in for the cup.
Go ahead, get a plug in.
So March 7th, we're doing the big event. And see, I'll get it in.
It's like the Oscars. You got to start playing the music now. You know.
March 7th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Where are you moving me? This way? Oh, move my hand. I want people to see my fucking hand. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. we'll be at the big event at the LaGuardia Hotel. And then after that, with my finger.
Hold on.
After that,
with finger?
We'll have the.
up his ass before.
We'll have the show, and you'll find out soon. We got a long time before we got to tell you the venue, but it's going to be easy to get to, and you'll love the show. Okay, I'll start announcing matches like I always do. April 11th is our next scheduled show. After that, at the Aloft Hotel, Assault at the Aloft Hotel.
Nice.
And I'll tell you something. We've been putting together some great shows. We put together guys who can really fight. Guys like Ghost Shadow comes in with Julius Smokes. I bring the Homicide. My teacher and friend has wrestled me.
Is he retired?
No.
Yes, he's retiring.
He's in NWA.
Yeah, but he's retiring.
He's one of the greatest of the greats.
Retiring.
He is with NWA on Tuesday night. You can watch him every.
It's phenomenal. The guy can do anything.
Listen,
And he's a hell of a teacher.
They're a great tag team, okay, and they're gonna go for it. They're gonna stay with them a long time. But he might be working out at some point. You never know, with something bigger than that even. Okay, Homicide is to me the greatest indie wrestler ever.
He's not an indie wrestler anymore. No.
But you see,
he's a.
If you count all the years that he did indies, like Chris Candido.
Yeah, but it don't really matter.
Candido is my also.
To me, it's all wrestling.
There.
It's all wrestling.
But the whole point
doesn't matter what level you're on.
He's great, and he deserves every accolade that he's getting. Okay, but we bring guys like him in. Okay, bring Andrew Anderson.
Nick Aldis said something a couple of days ago. I saw it on a video clip. He said, after 10 years, it's all the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
after 10 years, you know what I'm saying?
So one or the other.
But
I just meant to say that since my company is an independent company and probably will never be a big corporation, then that's our niche in the world right now. But we pack the house every freaking show, we to the walls, okay, and they don't leave. And there are a lot of little kids with them, and the mothers are busy walking around the little kids to keep them quiet if they're cranky, just so they can see the show.
Well, you know what? I got a question. Why the fuck, if we pack the house like that, why don't they buy fucking gimmicks? Spoken like a true carny, right?
See, the funny thing is, because you got to realize that crowd we're drawing is the inner city crowd for the most part.
So they have no money.
No, I don't think so.
No, they have money for the tickets, okay, but they're not splurging. Listen,
that amazes me. You can be at a show with 1,000 people, and you sell 2 8x10s. You could be at a show with 40 people, and you make $300, $400.
Listen, we're going to be in Manhattan soon too. That's another thing I meant to say. So it may not be until maybe March, or not March. It may not be till the end of April or sometime in May. But we're going to do in the Armory, way uptown. I'm talking like by 1:30.
I have to rib them about that stuff, though.
Okay, but there's going to be some good places we're going. We're not screwing around. We're going into Brooklyn. Okay, yeah, I'm going to tease it. We're going to go to Our Lady of Guadalupe, if they let us in. I know that Our Lady of Grace in Gravesend. That's, we'll be using that.
I try to stay as far away from a grave as I can.
But these are good places because
no
the
rush.
churches can
No rush.
money.
No.
The staff, the priest is a great guy. All the people that work at the church, and that are part of the church, they're all great and very receptive to us.
I still find the combo
and
so
the people
bizarre.
in the neighborhood
Church
like
and
us.
wrestling.
So they buy
So
a few
bizarre.
gimmicks here and there.
And they sell beer.
I mean? But we're going to be branching out more and more. The first year we did five shows, I think, in the first year. This year we're going to try to make it, if we can, 10 shows, or maybe more. See, I had the idea we should do 1 a month and then build it up to 2 a month and so on.
At least
and so
you can
forth.
tell some storylines and do something.
Everything will happen. We got storylines. We have competition. We have guys having a reason for having a fight with each other.
So when you both make it to NWA Power, though, you're not going to be able to do this anyway. You're going to have to cancel all your shows.
This guy.
I'll listen to you. I'm not canceling Cuba. Cuba is at the City Sports Arena, April 18th.
You gotta do that.
We're going for the 16th to the 19th, and it's going to be a hell of a trip. You know what I'm saying? So far, we got it. If you look at my Facebook page, I'll let you in. All right?
Please.
Give me your last name, your real last name, your shoot last name.
No way.
And
kayfabe.
you watch the promos right now. We have a big guy who's been around the block for over 15, 20 years. Slam Shady from Texas. He's
Slam
Shady,
Yeah.
big dude,
man.
big dude. And then you have Rodney Mack, and of course
Rodney
the
Mack.
star of the show, who's getting a long overdue push,
Right.
in some way, shape, or form. Fidel Sierra, the Cuban assassin, who will now be known as the Cuban Patriot.
Nice.
So, and those are the first 3. We'll announce more as we go. All I got to tell you is this: Kevin Sullivan is producing. Sonny Ono is producing and managing.
That's great.
And the main event, from what it's looking at right now, is going to be 2 Japanese wrestlers. So that's all I got to tell you.
That's
so
great.
It's going to be an international show.
I meant to ask you something.
Yes,
How do you feel about the Patriot? You know who I mean, the Patriot.
I love the both of them.
You better not love him so much.
Why?
I forgot to tell you. Why? You're going to have to kick the shit out of him more.
Why? Oh, that's all right. So me and Tom Brady have gone.
I announce it here. What the fuck? But sorry,
Well, it's all right. I can get some. I always do this whenever I wrestle.
Patriot.
Whenever I wrestle a Patriot, I always say, I'm going to get him down, and I'm going to slowly pull that mask off, and I'm going to expose him to the world for what he is, a pimply faced Chinaman.
Oh man.
So
with that, I want to thank Mr. Big, Andrew Anderson for coming in.
thank you guys.
And hopefully both of you will
They
be on
should decide
NWA
once, yeah.
Power. That's going to be. I feel like it's going to come, man. That's exciting.
They need a manager. Not to push myself, but they need a manager. They have some guys that talk and speak very well, but it takes away from their mystique. They need a manager.
I would love to ride out into the sunset.
That'd be great.
You know, with the NWA, and that's just something I'm putting out there. But you know, I really would. You know, which was why I tried to keep the flame burning, keep the candle burning in the window with the National Wrestling Alliance Big Apple. You know, it was what it was. You know, it was Bruce Tharp's product, and we tried to do what we could with it, with all the factions working in it. But I tried to hold it. I had 3 shows with stacked cards. Everyone from Rene Dupree, Rodney Mack, Tokyo Monster Cahagas, Kevin Sullivan, Crowbar.
This is he's a vicious.
You name them. They were on my shows. Alpha Jr., Alpha and Lloyd, his brother, the Samoans. Tim Storm. Go on the list, man. It was unbelievable. Jazz. Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa.
She was going to be on Hit It or Quit It.
Yeah, she's on NWA.
Thunder Rosa was
Yeah,
going to be on Hit It.
Absolutely.
And very good at my.
All right, well, you've been watching Monte the Pharaoh, seeing here every Thursday, 8:05.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you, sir. It's been our honor for both of you.
Thank you.
And you can catch Monte the Pharaoh, channel 115, every Tuesday from 8:30 to 9 p.m. Thank you again. We'll catch you next Thursday. See ya.